She keeps calling and texting, saying she's so sorry. She didn't mean it. She wants to go to counseling and therapy. She needs me, she misses me, etc., etc. Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, I'm going to go over a story titled, My wife, a 32-year-old female, keeps throwing divorce in my face over everything. I just agreed and left. And shout out to Mr. Arkansas for sending me this story. And guys, again, this story is about a guy. He is 28. He's actually younger than his wife. Been married for 4 years, together for 5. They have a 4-year-old daughter. And he's done. She has crossed the line. Turns out his wife is a big giant a-hole and a terrible communicator, and she's one of those, and maybe you guys have encountered people that behave like this, in the situation with women, who whenever they're not getting their way, they throw the I'm going to break up with you, or I'm going to divorce you, that type of thing, just to emotionally manipulate you and play those types of games to hurt you, instead of just communicating like adults. Well, this guy makes it clear, when I'm done, I'm done. And that's what happens. And she obviously did not see it coming. And I've been going to go over, guys, and make the point, you got to have good communication relationships. And if you're somebody that does this type of verbal ABUSC and that type of manipulation, you need to look at the big picture here, even if you have a kid involved, because there's no environment to raise a kid. So it starts off, says here, I'm currently staying with my sister. My wife and I have been together for 5 years, married for 4. We've known each other for a few years prior. We have one kid together who is 4 years old. I am the primary breadwinner in the house, and she is a stay-at-home mom. It was her choice not to go back to work. Well, clearly you're not happy about that, Dad. You should have been laying down the law. For the last year and a half, we've been having arguments about 1 to 2 times a month. To be clear, I do help out with our daughter. I clean, cook, and I'm involved with both of them. Okay, well, she should be doing the majority of all that since she is not actually going to work every day. She's made being the mom and the stay-at-home mom and housewife the work, so therefore she should be doing the absolute majority of the cooking, cleaning, grocery shopping, laundry, etc. The first time she said she wanted a divorce was when we got into an argument when my sister called and asked if she could stay with us for a bit as she was having relationship problems. How ironic. I said she could. My wife was not happy about that. I pointed out that her friend stayed with us for a couple months prior for 5 weeks and didn't do anything around the house. Look, if you're married, her family becomes your family, and your family becomes her family, and you do things for them. And unless this guy's sister was a total jerk, you want to help him out. Plus, she was just there. No discussions, nothing. She was a stranger to me and my daughter. This is not his sister, this is his wife's friend who stayed with him. My sister is lovely and has a great relationship with her daughter, and I thought my wife was as well. She ended up staying with us for a week, helping out around the house, cooking, cleaning, and watching her daughter when needed. That sounds like a great house guest to me. I thought we would both forgive each other and move on. Or I had thought we forgave each other and moved on. Well, the fights are usually over something small, 90% are not started by me. I've suggested therapy and counseling, but she always says that she and we never need it. Notice he said that 90% of the fights and arguments are started by her. Drama, drama, drama. And she doesn't want to work on things. Because she doesn't want to accept that maybe she's a problem. Well, I had it last night. She picked up by saying that I was spending too much time at work. And she feels abandoned, and that I'm not a good father, ending her rant, and that I want a divorce. Why do you think he's spending his time at work? To provide for the family, because she doesn't want to go to work. Does she believe in magic, and that money is going to fall down from the trees and pay the bills? Or magically higher numbers will show up in their bank account? It doesn't work that way. He's obviously working hard to take care of the family. She doesn't like that. She can get a job, and he can maybe scale back at work or take a different job that didn't require so much time, and he had more time for her. But then she'd be pissed off that she had to work. Or if he scaled back at his job and he didn't have as much money, she'd be pissed off that he doesn't have enough money for the family. There's no making her happy. I stood up and told her that the only reason I work so much is because she cannot stop spending my money, or our money. Typing it out came out, it says here, at the time of the argument, I used our money. We agreed to split the money into bills, future savings, future daughter, and fun money on things we don't need or use. She refused to get a job or go to school or to help her out. I provide for the family, for my daughter. I'm always at her important dates, functions, and doctor's appointments, anything that my daughter needs. My wife refused to get help through therapy or counseling. I don't want this anymore, and I'll have my lawyer send her the papers when she writes it up. I got my daughter's things and left with her to my sister's house. Great. When a man's pushed too far, he's pushed too far. Now, people can say, well, we're just getting his side of the story here. I get the impression, as I've been doing this for 5 freaking years, and I've got about 4,000 videos circulating between all 3 channels, that this guy's being pretty fair here. It's been 2 days, and she keeps calling and texting saying she is so sorry. She didn't mean it. She wants to go to counseling and therapy. She needs me. She misses me, etc. Ah, look what happens when a man lays down the law, when he shows he's not messing around. Now, do you really think, guys, that she misses him? That she loves him? No, she loves her breadwinner here. I don't know what to do. I love her. She's a good mother, but I can't do this anymore. Internet strangers, please help. Smack! Snap out of it. Bro, you love who you think she is. You fell in love with the idea of her and your family and all that, and that happens a lot. But is she behaving in any way like a loving woman, a loving wife, loving mother? I mean, maybe she's great with your kid, but with you, she's a freaking a-hole. Taking advantage of you, treating you like crap, emotionally abusing you with the freaking, I'm going to get divorced every time she doesn't get her way. That's not a way to live. That's not a loving wife. And you can't raise a daughter in a house like that. He also says, yes, I have a lawyer. For my family and work, I've known her since I was a teenager. Well, on to his update. He says, this was a little while later. He says, hello all. Unfortunately, this is not a sunshine and rainbows type of update. I posted a few months back about how my wife kept throwing divorce in my face on a regular basis. That was until I did okay. I got my daughter and left. I need to vent, so I posted here on Reddit. To clarify some questions I've gotten, I referred to one of my comments on the original post. A lot of people like comments, so we'll address some things. I want to point out some things that it seems were missed or looked over. I would do everything again if I had to, including taking my daughter. I pushed her, my wife, to go out, find a job, get a hobby, meet new friends, and do something, anything. Asked about seeing someone for help. She would not listen or consider anything I had presented. She kept saying no, or she was not the problem. If you got a problem in a marriage and your wife won't communicate, or, ladies, if your husband won't communicate and they won't accept there's a problem, won't do anything to get help, you're kind of pushed into a corner with your options. He says, my daughter is my priority. I don't fight with my wife in front of her or around her. I grew up in a bad household. I've been in that position where my dad got angry with my mom left, and my dad took it out on me. I don't ever want to do that to her. I don't know what my wife was going to do that night. Notice he said that I don't fight in front of the daughter. That's something else. That's great, because a lot of people provoked would just snap and lose it, you know? You can't force somebody to get help. They have to want it. Actually want it. If you force someone, they will go through the motions just to make it look like they changed. I'm not blameless in this, but I can't raise my daughter with her thinking it's okay behavior, or this is how relationships are supposed to be like. I decided when I was young that I would never be like my dad. Well, good for you, man. And this is why you're taking your daughter out of the situation. You can't stand a relationship like this. But it's very interesting that this guy grew up in a household where there was a lot of turmoil between him and mom and dad, no love, fighting, drama, all that. And yet he marries a woman where, guess what? Essentially the same freaking crap is going on. And this is why I make the case, and I know a lot of people get pissed off when I say it. I've been hearing it for years. If the relationship, the marriage is bad and is arguing and fighting, it's ugly, end it for the kids. Don't stay for the kids and raise the kids in an environment like this, or the kids are going to grow up thinking this is normal right here, and they get into relationships just like it. I've had a lot of guys write in, or guys I've read comments saying they grew up in a house like this. They wish mom and dad would have broken up. Anyway, so after I made the post, I had a lot to think about. I decided that I was going to make sure she knew how serious I was. We sat down and I flat out told her that I couldn't do this anymore. The fighting and threatening of divorce has to stop. She agreed and said she would not say it again. Sure. I told her that the next time it was thrown out would be the last time. Well, guys, what do you think? Will there be a test? We agreed to do couples therapy. It was eye-opening. The things were said, feelings were brought up, and outside professional views helped us understand the other better. After a few sessions, I thought we were doing better. She started to apply herself more. She looked and obtained a job, made some friends, and got a hobby. Well, define got a hobby. We'll come back to that in a bit. Well, look what happens when a guy shows he's not messing around. That was until an argument started because we had plans in regards to her daughter that she overlooked. And couldn't cancel the other plans that she made with some of her new coworkers. At what I considered the end of the argument, she said under her breath, now listen to this, "I knew marrying you was a mistake." There you go. She didn't say, "I'm going to divorce you," but she's insulting the marriage once again. I looked at her, and the thing I remember most is how I did not recognize the woman that was standing there. She looked different to my eyes. I didn't know who the one was in front of me. I asked her to repeat herself, and she said, I should have divorced you years ago." Is this the same gal who promised she wouldn't do this? Well, something tells me she thinks she's got options. I walked away and took my daughter to the plans alone, just the two of us. Well, I ended up filing for legal separation. Good for you, Dad. He gave the wife a second chance. I wouldn't have. Many of you wouldn't have, but he did, probably for his daughter. He's done. Under the terms we both signed was something along the lines of, while separated, we are still legally married and will not, keyword not, get involved with anyone during this time period. Finances will be separated, but bills will stay as currently split. I would still pay for insurance through work. Other things that were in it were therapy sessions that would continue both as individuals and couples. I'd move in with my sister, and we share custody of our daughter, 70% me, 30% her. It's very interesting that he's getting 70% of the daughter. Either she agreed to the daughter being with him 70% of the time, or perhaps that was through the court. I'm not sure. But what does it say that the mom is perfectly fine having the daughter only 30% of the time, or the court's saying? That says a lot about mom. Well, one day when I had my daughter, I needed my wife to take her. I let her know a week before, and she agreed. The morning of that, at 7:30, I went to drop her off at the house and noticed an unfamiliar car in the driveway. I guess it's DoorDash making a delivery at 7:30 in the morning. Who else could it be? My first thought was, she must have a girlfriend over. Well, I go to ring the doorbell, out of respect, but still odd ringing your own doorbell. And I wait with my daughter when a shirtless man about 20 years old opens the door and asks who I am and what do I want. Looks like it's Chad, 20-year-old Chad for 32-year-old, very soon-to-be ex-wife. Remember that part where they're not supposed to be frolicking while they're separating? Ask my wife what he calls her, and she comes around the corner in a robe, and her face goes from curious to shocked to horrified to sad. Needless to say, in 3 months' time, when the legal separation ends, I'm filing for the decree of dissolution of our marriage. Thank you. We all knew from the first paragraph how this was going to end. My daughter is safe. She doesn't understand what's going on, other than Daddy and Mommy are not happy with each other. As stated above, she is my priority. Well, good, Dad. You're doing what you're best doing. You're doing the right thing to protect your daughter from this nutcase. And I want to hear how great of a mom she is, because she's not a great mother. I guess I did do one thing I never wanted to do. The one thing I promised myself I would never become. But I guess it couldn't be helped. That I end up just like my parents. I don't know what a healthy relationship looks like. I hope I can just show how much I love my daughter and raise her the best I can. Thanks for the support, comments, love, and criticism. Well, I'm going to interrupt. I'm going to say here that this guy is not his parents. Because, yeah, he married a woman like his parents because that's what he was conditioned for, what is normal, supposedly normal. But at least this guy's recognizing that there's a major problem and he's ending it and walking away. And, yeah, he's going to take a hit in the divorce. We all know it, because that's just how things are. But at least he's walking away. But he's not his father or his mother, And he's 28. He's fucking young. He's 20 years younger than me, 19 years younger than me. He's got his whole life ahead of him, and he's a good dad. So for guys like that are watching this now, you know you're a good dad. You're doing your best. There's way more better in these situations that the dads are better than the moms. The moms are awful, as this woman is. So good luck to this guy, but making the point, guys, you can't tolerate this type of crap. You can't tolerate this type of abuse. And that's what it is. Always, I'm going to divorce you if you don't do this. I'm going to divorce you if you do that. No, that's not good communication. But this is why you spend years getting to know your girl. And you spend years seeing what she's like in real life situations before you marry her, and then, things happen. But then again, plenty can put on the whole bait and switch thing. You think you're marrying somebody sane, and then the second you get married, Dr. Jekyll turns into Miss Bitch, or Miss Hyde, and there you go. Now, I'm going to read a few comments to wrap this up, because the commentary is great. They're very much supporting this guy. Someone says here, wow, chances are this isn't the first guy she's been with. Guarantee she's been hanging out with coworkers. Her violating a court order like that will not look good for her. You're nothing like your father. You didn't fight in front of your daughter. You offered solutions for help. She rejected them until she realized you were serious, then attempted to play the game to keep you on the hook. You said she spent money on unnecessary things, so chances are that was the money she wanted. Sorry, but that's off topic. When you realized that things would continue to be toxic, you got your daughter out of there. That was the right thing to do. Now you know that your ex doesn't really care about you or respect you and your daughter. She knew that she was supposed to have your daughter, but decided getting laid was much more important. Keep doing right by your daughter, continue your therapy, and move forward with a divorce. Yeah, and I also want to say, protect your daughter, make her your priority, take care of yourself, hang out with people that care about you, spend time with your sister who seems great, exercise, be healthy. You're going to have the last laugh. By the way, expect your soon-to-be ex-wife to try to get a third chance, and don't do it. And one more. This guy says, man, I feel sad. She brought another man during separation. My thought she might have been seeing him, or she was just using the separation as a way to hide her affair. Not sure, but I have a hunch. I don't know where you stay, but if you reside in states, just see the laws related to divorce, because it varies state to state. Also, block your ex's number and use a parenting app. You should focus on yourself and your daughter, not your soon-to-be ex-wife. And you also should start working on yourself, go to the gym, lift weights, keep yourself fit. It will help you a lot. Change yourself entirely. Don't worry you're 28 years old and you still have a lot of time. Also, don't worry, you will find a girl who's much better than your ex. Just change yourself, the only one who truly deserves you will definitely meet you. Update as you go. There you go. But certainly you should not be rushing into any relationships. No freaking way. So anyhow, guys, you can't tolerate the type of crap. End of freaking story. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And guys, if you found a good story, be sure to send it to me, strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. And if it's a good one, I'll definitely cover it. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.